Morning, everyone. It's 8:27 on this Valentine's Day morning, February the 14th, and this is your pre-opening comment. It is video number 2075. Okay, only information, economic information that's out this morning are the mortgage apps. Really, definitely not a market mover. They showed up as down 2% versus last week's up 3.8. As far as Asia and Europe, Asia is mixed. Europe is a little higher. Um, the futures are up a bit after being down, 500 yesterday. Uh, the Dow is up 135. Nasdaq was down about 300, is up 126, and the S&P, which was down 68, is right now up 28. There's not a lot of international news, but there were a lot of earnings yesterday, and I'll get to those in a second. But first, the chart on the screen is Bitcoin, and it is up again over 2,000, 2,270 as of right now. Another higher low on the weekly chart. On the daily, it's a little bit more extreme than that. Let's see what we can show you here. We came down yesterday. It was basically an inside day, but this morning we are sharply higher. As I said, we're getting a little bit excessive on this MACD. We really don't like to see this kind of separation. But the fact of the matter is, this is working higher, and you know, I've been bullish this for a while. And the oil, which everybody seems to be focusing on, is also higher again. This one had a pretty strong divergence on the MACD and some of the moving averages, but as you can see, the 5 went back through the 20 to the upside, even though the MACD rolled over to the downside. So these divergences are really important. Obviously, the area to be concerned about is right here around 79.5. We have one, two, three. This would be the fourth high, and a nice W formation here. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Okay, so the big news yesterday in earnings was not necessarily the numbers, but what actually happened with Lyft. Lyft came out and reported a surprise beat. The stock moved up to about 17 after closing at around $12.13. Then in the after the headline, we had a description of the numbers in which Lyft had a typo talking about adjusted EBITDA margins that were going to go up 500%, 5 times in the year. So you can imagine that was a very bullish statement. And the stock moved up to 20 and a quarter, which was up about 60%. However, that was a typo. And when they fixed it to up 50%, the stock sunk down. It closed at around in the high 13s, still up $1.68. But this morning it is higher again, 14 and three quarters, up 262 or 22%. Robinhood had a beat, also a kind of a surprise. The stock this morning, 1344, up $1.60 or 13.5%. Allison Transmission, a name that we don't see very often. They had a huge beat, and their stock is 74.99, up 13.45 or 22%. On the downside, even with a beat. Upstart UPST 28.26 down 466 or 14%. Remember, this is one of those buy now, pay later, and frankly, I'm going to guess they're going to run into, as a firm has, buy now, pay never. QDEL, QDEL, also a miss. That one is really getting pounded. 41.05 down 25.72 or 38%. That's a biotech. And one that has really been all over the place, even with their beat and the fact that they've been profitable for a while. Airbnb. So the stock closed 151 about. On the headline news of the beat, it went to 167. Then it turned back down and went to 147. And then a little bit lower this morning, 144, down 7 or 4.6%. Tomorrow is the big deal as far as economic news, and I'll get into all of that in tonight's closing comment. Hope everyone had a good day. We'll see now if the futures are any indication whether or not this decline yesterday was a one-day affair or whether it's the predecessor of something big. Have a good morning.